How do I know Johnny Regan? That's a long story. Let me give you this story first, and then I can kind of set you up on how I met Johnny, because it really is a great story. I was in corporate America for many years. My background is electrical engineering degree, MBA, and I did very well in corporate America. I was president of sales and marketing for a $420 million company. And then one day, I decided that that's enough. I have had enough of corporate America. Again, nothing wrong with people who want to work in corporate America. I just had what I call a quiet discontent. You know how you just, there's something inside of you. It's just, you're not happy anymore. You just want to do something different. You feel like you're, I don't know, not on purpose. You should be doing something else. And that's what I felt. And at the time, I was doing exceptionally well financially, but I don't know, I just wanted to do something different. So I decided to quit corporate America, and I decided to write my first book. The first book I wrote was called The Logic of Success, which was my first book on motivation, my first attempt at writing a book in motivation. And I remember I was in the process of finalizing the book, at least the first draft, and I was invited to a networking event called Vision Miami. And it was put on by this character named Johnny Regan, who I'd never met. So I went to the event, and I got to meet Johnny for the first time. Really nice guy, just, exceptional guy. Very friendly, very outgoing. He's Mr. Hug and Love. You know what I mean? He's all about that. He's a genuine person. He really loves people. And I don't know how this happened, but I was invited to speak at one of his events. And it was at a downtown hotel in Miami. And I remember it was a bar/dance floor type of situation. But off the corner of the dance floor, there was a little speaking space, right? And so that's where I gave one of my first keynote speeches, which was at Vision Miami. So Johnny really, was one of the people that gave me an opportunity to go out there and talk. And I remember it was like a 15-minute speech, and great reaction from the small group we had. I think it was about 15, 20 people there, but it was one of the first events I've ever done in public, right? And I estimate that was around, I don't know, 2003, something like that. And so 10 years later, I'm now speaking to larger crowds, doing bigger audiences. If you look behind me, you'll see some pictures. And pretty much have traveled all over the world. But when I look back at Vision Miami and that speech, that one speech I gave that one night when I first started out, when nobody else would let me speak at their events, and everybody would say, every time I said, "Can I speak at your event?" they would always say, "Well, who are you?" And Johnny was, one of the few people, if not one of the first people, to say, "Come on, man, I'll give you a shot. You want to go speak? Here you go. I'll give you an audience." And so that's how I met Johnny Regan. So the guy's genuine, man. He's authentic. He's a loving guy. Big hug, kisses, the whole bit. And he was one of the first people that kind of just, helped me get out there. And it's one of those people you just never forget. And I'm sure we have people in our lives like that as you reflect back on your life, you say, who were the people that kind of gave me that little push, a little bump, a little nudge to keep moving forward? And Johnny Regan would be in that category for me.